And we're live.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Like your next TV show though should be Battlestar Galactica. Like
Ooh.
you got on board and you watched Snowpiercer, which I was surprised by.
I'm all caught up on Snowpiercer. I like that. We
Yeah,
can
it's
talk
like
about that in a minute, but
yeah,
what were
yeah.
Battlestar
I have
Galactica?
not seen that show
Battlestar
yet.
Galactica
We won't spoil
is one of the best sci-fi television shows ever made.
Is that
It
the one where
has
there's like a million episodes of that, right? Or no, that's
no,
Supernatural. That's Supernatural.
yeah, it's supernatural. This is all right, so I'm gonna spoil like the overarching
That's fine.
story point, but like I don't think it makes it less watchable, it makes it more watchable because then you kind of know what the fuck's been going on. So anybody who doesn't want the overarching story point of Battlestar Galactica, click away now and give me 30 seconds here. So basically, Battlestar Galactica is what appears to be a futuristic setting where these guys, where humans are on multiple colonies in this solar system, and what's actually going on is these are our ancestors. These are Earth. These are our ancestors with space technology, and they're in a war against this artificial intelligence robots that they made. And you start recognizing a lot of the names of the planets and stuff because they're all like based on um like 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 uh like Greek gods and stuff. Like a lot of like there's a character named Apollo, and there's lots of references like that.
But this is way before like the Greeks and
Way before. Oh yeah, yeah. This is like call this like a million years ago or something. I don't know
so this
exactly
is the
when.
same kind of format as like Star Wars, where it's like a super long time ago, but it's like society has collapsed, technology has collapsed since then, and like it's better back
No.
then.
So the idea is that so they get into this war, and the very first episode, the
Mhm.
first two episodes are like a mini series, or excuse me, or like movies. It's like episode one is like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. Episode two is an hour and a half or 2 hours long, and then you get into a standard format of a TV show with
Yeah,
like 45-minute
45 minutes.
episodes. So they get into a war with the Cylons, which is the artificial intelligence that they created, that they've had an armistice with for like, I don't remember, 30, 40 years or something like that. We haven't seen a Cylon. And the last time we saw them, they looked like giant toasters. That's what they call them. It's the sort of derogatory slang they use they're like, fucking toasters. Because they look at these big silver machine people.
Damn,
Now
that's
they've come back and they
okay.
look like us. Like they look like fucking Terminators, basically. And they do have other models that look like the old Terminator styles. They're like the hunter killer robots, but the Cylons that are in control look like human beings. And they do this as the sneak attack on all of the colonies, and they wipe out like 99% of human beings, and the remaining 1% exist in this fleet of civilian ships and one battle star, which is their like military vessel. Think of it as an aircraft carrier.
So they're all
But
just like relying on one Battlestar Galactica, as I'm sure the name, and they all just kind of have to be in like a hive going throughout space, just living like that because they have no
yeah,
planet.
and the way their travel technology works, obviously they've got like like every sci-fi sort of universe, you have
Mhm.
slower than light and faster than light travel. And the faster than light travel is like this big burst of like boom, and we zap across the galaxy pretty far in big leaps and jumps.
Yeah.
And so for the first like 4 or 5 episodes or something, maybe two or three, that's what they're doing. They're trying to stay one step ahead of the Cylons, like because they'll leap and then they'll start figuring out where they're going to go next because the Cylons are only like 45 minutes behind,
Do the
and it's this
Cylons wanna
race.
kill them,
Kill
or
them
like
all. The Cylons want to exterminate humanity.
what do they want
Yeah.
from humanity now? Because like it
They
seems
want
like
them dead.
got all the planets, and
They want humanity dead. They are trying to exterminate them like a plague.
they got to make sure because they're robots, they're timeless, and so they don't want them to escape, find a new planet, build up again, and then in like a million years,
Sure. And the
destroy.
humans are after what to them is like a prophecy called
Uh-huh.
Earth.
Yeah.
They're trying to find Earth. And so the whole series becomes them trying to find this mythical planet called Earth whilst trying to stay one step ahead of the Cylons, who are both an enemy within and without. Because like I said, the Cylons look like people now. And every now and then there'll be a bit of sabotage
Yeah.
in the fleet. And they're like, there's one of them here. One of us is a Cylon. And they don't know what all, there are only like 9 models, I think. So it's not like they have infinite designs.
That is implausible, Jared. None of us are
Yeah, exactly.
It's that
And
guy with the computer on his chest. Bang, bang, bang.
there's really, really strong acting. Like the guy who runs the Battlestar Galactica, Edward James Olmos, is an
Oh God,
amazing actor. He kills it.
incredible.
And then you've got like some of the fighter pilots are awesome. When they get into these fights, they send out Vipers, which are like their fighter pilots, to like run interference and do defensive maneuvers and stuff like that. And then you've got the civilian fleet who elect a new president. And you know how like the order of succession goes with like governmental institutions. It's like, okay, if the president dies, the vice president takes over. And if the vice president dies, it's the
Yeah.
speaker of the house, and on and on and on. Well, when you wipe out 99.9% of the human population, the education secretary ends up being the president of the colonies. And she's just like, I was supposed to be doing a seminar on pre-K, and now I'm in charge of humanity. And so she has this weird relationship with the leader of the military, and they have this great back and forth going on. And there's 4 or 5 seasons. The first 2 or 3 are very good. They sort of like many shows. It's kind of like first season's the best.
Super strong
Second
start.
season is still really strong, and then it kind of like gets a little worse as you go. One show that's not like that is Star Trek. Star Trek: The Next Generation. Season 1 is atrocious, and then it gets a little better.
On
As it goes.
Battlestar
Yes.
Galactica, before we change off of it, couple things, Kyle. In addition to what Kyle said, the acting is great. The writing is great. There
Yeah.
are scenes in this that have impacted my like thought process on politics and life and right and morality and things like that. The writing is freaking outstanding. And there was I also like that our heroes are not the most powerful force in the galaxy, right? When you watch the Star Trek Enterprise run around in their fucking luxurious spaceship
That's what it is too.
overpowered compared to everything, and they just half of the engagements that the Enterprise gets in, there's a moral dilemma on how bad to fuck up the other side. You know,
It really is, yeah.
should we bestow technology upon them? Everyone's a fucking moron compared to us. And Battlestar
Mr.
Galactica,
Worf will be like, their weapons pose no threat to us, sir.
Yeah.
Like that
Battlestar
happens so
Galactica-
often.
Wait, that's a boring plot thing. I
It
didn't
is-
know that about Star Trek.
yeah. Battlestar Galactica is the opposite. Every engagement they get into, they're lucky to survive if they survive. They escape through the skin of their teeth. People are dying. People it's a real problem. Guys getting lost and stranded out there.
And they're
They
limited in
announce the
resources.
entirety of the population of humanity at the beginning of every episode. They'll be like 34,367. And then like a main character will die. And next episode, when that thing runs across, 33,366. And then sometimes a whole ship, like there's this part where, they're doing that thing where they leap ahead, trying to stay one step ahead of the Cylons. And one of the ship is like, our engines aren't working. Our engines aren't working, Galactica. Don't leave us behind. And they're just like, jump. And you just leave that ship behind because it's like, either we all stay behind and die to defend the one calf who can't keep up with the herd, or we get across this river away from these crocodiles. And then the next episode, it's like 31,214. It's just like population's
Very
going
dark.
down.
Yeah.
And then one episode, a baby gets born, and it's like,
Heyo.
Yeah.
it's excellent. Show.
And
It's
there's
really
a
good.
prequel series too. There's Caprica, which I've heard mixed things on. I've heard some people say it was all right, and then others say it was like, well, like most prequels, like completely unnecessary. But the awesome thing about that show is like, because every engagement, as mentioned, it, like has like weight to it. Like when like their fighters go out, to try and like ward off an attack, and they lose like 5 or 6 of them, like those are all resources lost. Like they'll never be able to build any more of those. Like maybe they can repurpose like 1 or 2 that they have in storage. I think they did that in like an episode or something like that, but it's gone. Like
those are monumental episodes. When like there's an episode when they're like the chief who like he's a main character. He's like the chief of like the Vipers. He's the one who repairs them. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna build a fucking ship. I'm gonna build one from scratch. And they're all like, you can't build a ship. Come on, what are you doing? And he does. He like everybody throws in and they pitch in together and they build this fucking hot rod of a ship that's really fucking cool, like a little like fighter jet type thing. It's great. It's like all right, we've lost 8 ships and we made 1. Good. They're just such scrappy underdogs every step of the way,
That's the
and
term.
dealing with the problems of all of human society existing within this fleet. Like because one of the ships is a prison ship. It's
Why
full of
even
prison.
bother?
They were being transported, and when there are 30,000 human beings left, period, you don't just
Yeah, you
throw
can't
away
have
3,000. They're not
Yeah.
all murderers. Some of them, one of them's like, some
That
of
is
them
a
are
good
like political
point.
refugees.
Does keeping the murderers alive increase or decrease your total population number?
Well, it's
Depends
a
how good
moral
they are.
dilemma.
Yeah.
There are lots of moral dilemmas,
We need to.
and
Everyone with a
and-
KD higher than 1 has got to go.
and what's fascinating is like after a while, you're just as interested in the Cylons as you are the humans, because the Cylons are awesome. One of the Cylons is played by this actress named Trisha Helfer. Oh, she's so fucking hot.
Is
Trisha
she the one that
Helfer
has
is-
a relationship with that one guy?
Gaius Baltar?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
she's
I didn't
the
like
bitch
that
in the
whole
red
plot
dress.
line.
The bitch in the red dress. You remember that?
I love that plot line. It's my favorite plot line because we get to look at Trisha Helfer.
It's very confusing, friend versus foe, and what the hell's going on, and where. I didn't love it.
Is she even really there?
Right,
Or is it
right.
all
We
in his
shouldn't
mind?
spoil it too much.
And
though,
just because
I
she's
feel like
in his
we've gone
mind, does
far.
that mean she's not really there? You know,
Ooh.
there's a lot going on. Anyway, Battlestar Galactica. If I were going to recommend a sci-fi TV show, I would recommend it over Star Trek, because like Star Trek, you've got to be a fucking nerd. You got to be like me. You got to really give a shit about Worf's backstory. Okay, you got to care that he gets that he like, you know, takes care of Moog's Kittimer incident. You got to give a shit about the Empire. All right.
Yeah, I don't care about that cheese grater headed guy's backstory.
No, his head changes from season 1 to season 2. You know why?
Because they had continuity problems in the
Because someone stole the fucking head.
That was correct, technically.
Somewhere out there, someone owns Worf's original head, and they don't know what to do with it.
This, you know, the kind of guy who would steal that has no interest in that belonging to anyone but him. Like
he's wearing it right now.
Remember, every day, wakes up in the morning, just puts it on. He's like, "I am Michael Dorn. I am Michael Dorn." You know,
he's just flexing at conferences.
Oh,
we haven't talked about
Arnold Shrine with the gum.